Yes, indeed. We came and we are with you right now on your Saturday or Sunday morning. This is Mornings on the Beach, and welcome for the weekend before Christmas.
Wow.
We made it. Here we are.
Let's get it over with.
Yeah, and it's something to look forward to. Hopefully, we'll get into it on the show. Plus, today we're going to talk about what was your most memorable Christmas moment. Think about it. We'll get back to you in a minute. And in the meantime...
Well, here we are the week before Christmas, and I haven't done any shopping, so,
Seriously?
Seriously.
Oh, no.
That's what wives are for, aren't they? I used to be one, so I can say that.
And with us as well...
I'm Melanie Rae, and I have the busiest musician in Long Beach sitting right next to me. Who is it?
You'll be joining us in the show. And by the way, we got to say our name. My name's Danny Lemos.
Oh, and I'm Mike Stark.
Oh, there's other two guys.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
That's great. Well, your week, how was last week for you guys? Yeah, I can see by the fact that you're jumping to give us an explanation. It must have been a crazy week. Anybody want to go?
Well, I got to go out and do things that I don't want to do. So there's that. So I'm more the...
Like what?
Well, shopping and being out with people.
See, I got that solved. I'm not shopping.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I got that solved. I'm not going out with people.
I guess I should have come here first.
Wait, you bring up an interesting topic, and that is that sometimes it's harder, was it post-pandemic, to get together with people in person?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think people in general still feel that.
Yeah, and I guess the dent in my couch would sort of say that's where I've been for a long time, and I prefer to be there. When you come home from a Christmas party and you've been social and you come home and you just change into your jammies and you're like,
right, yeah.
I can let it all hang out. Well, my week was very exciting, getting ready for the holidays, working here at the radio station. That's one thing. And then we got together for a little anniversary celebration. We're 6 years old, KLBP.
Oh, yay!
Yeah, and we got together for a little birthday celebration.
Some of the OGs here.
And it was great to see folks.
Yeah.
I think it was really great. But when I left the party, 2-hour parking in downtown Long Beach, free. Mm. So I put timers on because I want to make sure I don't go over limit and I don't want to pay for the parking. So I get there and I look at my phone. It's 7:48 and I know I have to be there by 7:51. So I'm booked into the garage, okay? And I make it to my car and I jam out. First of all, I did the backwards parking thing, which I never do.
Right.
But I did that so I could get out quickly. And I made it to the machine right at 7:50, and then it wouldn't let me out. I'm like, what's going on? Because normally it goes right up and recognizes you.
Right.
Then I look at the screen and it says, you owe us $2. I said, wait a minute. It is not set. Then boom, it says 7:51. Changed right to 7:51. Damn it. So I pull out my credit card, shove it in reluctantly, pull it out, and it goes, credit card won't work. And of course, that's the only card I have on me. And there are people now stacking up behind me, and I'm getting very miserable about it. And so I push the button. The lady says, can I help you? I said, yeah, this gate won't open. She goes, try your credit card. I did already, trust me. Same credit card works everywhere else, but not there. And that's happened before, by the way, there. So she comes out. It takes her a long time, and people are now 6 deep behind me waiting to get out.
No.
Yeah. No, I'm that guy.
You're that guy.
And I'm like, and at that moment I went, I'm standing my ground. I am not going to move until we get out of this parking lot for free. Mm-hmm. And so she shows up and she tries my card. Doesn't work for her because it didn't work for me. And then I say, hey, I was 1 minute late. Please, the city's not going to fold over $2. Can you just let me out? And she finally looks at me kind of like, well, can you try it? Well, do you have any cash? I go, open the gate. That must have been my tone because, man, she raced over, turned the key and opened that gate. Yeah. And I left with it in a happier mood. Thank you. Happy holidays.
Yeah. And that $2 doesn't come out of her pocket.
Yeah.
So why not?
Yeah. Indicative of my week. That's how it goes. You get to the finish line and you got to pay another $2 for parking. Yeah.
But then you didn't.
I didn't.
It was a better week than you thought.
I did, yes. And this month has been great. I got my lost phone back, right?
Right.
I lost my earbud at the gym and thought, oh, that's it. It was, by the way, I lost the other one previously, so there was one earbud only. I lose that at the gym. And finally on the way out, I said, I'm just going to ask. did you find an earbud this morning? She goes, it's right here.
Oh,
so I'm lucky, and that's...
So you still have one?
Yeah.
You're still firing on one earbud.
Which is good, because I can listen to people with the other ear.
Yeah.
Which always bugs me when somebody's walking up to you and you're talking to them, hey, what's going on? And you know they're listening, not to you, they're listening to music. Yeah, but your week, Mike?
Well, I wanted to say something about the little get-together we had.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Because I thought that was... that's the beginning of what we're doing here is trying to build a community. Yeah. And the people that were there when we had the show, when we did the party.
Wednesday,
yes.
Let's call it Wednesday.
Taping on a different day makes it difficult. That was the core group of people that have really been working hard. And, it was great to get everybody together and just break bread and have a beer or two. And
I really can't underline enough how hard they've been working to get this station cranking. And you've probably noticed it sounds a little different. And we're sorry about the Christmas songs with the X-rated words. But
anytime I hear one, I get on the phone to Danny and I laugh about it. And he is in pain because,
because I'm trying.
Trying to make it happen.
It's one of those things. We make light of it, but it's just one of those things about putting a new station on the air. And hopefully new sound. And speaking about that sound and what we're doing with our local musicians, we're going to get to that coming up on the show because we have a very special guest.
Sweet.
However, if you were paying attention to the news, this week was another school shooting, right?
Yeah.
How many does that make this year?
Too many.
83. 83 in 2024. Wow. And we're talking in schools. We're not talking about streets. But my goodness. And of course,
I want to point out that I'm probably the only one in the room that has cowered on the ground with a classroom full of children. Have you done it too?
Have done it.
Okay.
Yep.
No, I've been twice. We were locked down. I teach special ed.
Wow.
So you keep everybody down low with a big smile on your face. Everything's fine.
What's going through your mind when that happens?
You're listening for gunshots.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It was just staying low, making sure, trying to make my kids think that we're just playing a game. That's why we're crawling around on the ground.
Wow.
And
then you hear the same platitudes on television. And this time, one of the mothers of the school, her child did not die, but she was still affected by it. She just faced the cameras, and you can see the resignation in her speech and just the way she's like, I'm saying this, but you know what? It doesn't mean anything to anybody anymore.
Right. Well,
that's what she felt like. And I thought, yeah, you're right. We say the same things and nothing happens. It's time to do something about it. And so I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to be appointed gun czar. What would I do? What would I do to change the situation we're in right now? Right? Would it be to follow someone like a country like Mexico? No guns allowed. No citizens, no legal citizens own guns in Mexico, right? And they have a lot less crime because it's all the cartel who has the guns.
Yeah.
So there's that argument. If you take away the guns from the good people, then the bad people have guns. But, at some point, you'll be able to tell the good from the bad if they have a gun. Here, you can't, right? And somebody goes home and gets a pistol from their father's cabinet, brings it to school, and tragedy ensues again. What would you do? What do we need to do? Obviously, the laws aren't going to change. We've been there for the last 20 years.
Part of the problem, too, is you look at, after a shooting, we look at the numbers. How many died? Right. Oh, that wasn't that many. Because we're just desensitized to it. But also, that's an entire population that's traumatized, adults and children, that will carry that trauma with them, that creates more violence and creates more school shootings. So I don't think...
point.
The Band-Aid, Band-Aid on a gunshot kind of thing it's not going to work, and we're not going to let go of our guns.
Maybe we need a national forum to discuss it. So people who are out there in the community with good ideas about what to do, maybe it's community by community, whatever it is, there's far too many guns are prevalent and easily accessed.
Well, when Obama was president, they tried to do a study on public health, and the NRA didn't even allow them to consider gun violence as a public health because it's now the highest killer of children.
Yeah. There's a podcast about the NRA, which I highly recommend, about all their inner workings behind the scenes of the NRA. Very interesting, and yet they still operate.
Well, they are. There's a news item that was out just this week that they're having to liquidate a lot of their things because they have all these lawsuits against them, and they're in trouble, which is
that's
good.
Part of it,
which is good for us.
It worked for cigarette companies.
Take away their nonprofit status. That's what I would say.
Oh yeah.
Oh, for sure.
That'd be first on my list for how to solve the gun problem. Take away the nonprofit status.
I would suggest also, as a starting point, only a starting point, and this last one didn't involve an AR-15, but most of the shootings do involve AR-15s. Just ban that weapon.
Again, we try, and we're always defeated by the gun lobby.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're giving money in the right place, which is to your politicians who are voting in their favor.
We'll see if they pay more attention to it if after this CEO killing, right? If it affects them and not just us, there's going to be more of a response.
And maybe the thing to do would be to limit that money that's flowing. Somehow that seems to control it, right? Or spend more money than they do. Right? Maybe that's the way.
Who's
Fight
got
money
that
with
money?
money. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not on our side, I hate to tell you.
Yeah. Exactly.
Mrs. Bezos, the former Mrs. Bezos. She's got it.
Yeah.
We got to appeal to her.
The other thing that this latest shooting, and I don't know that it's a factor of any kind, but to me, it kind of hit a different tone, is that this is the first time in a long, long time, it hasn't always been that way, but this is the first time that it involved a woman or a girl as the shooter.
Isn't that it?
Usually it's, some troubled young man of some kind. Now it's gone to the other side of the...
Yeah. Well, there was the first female school shooter. It was in the 70s.
Yeah. I don't like Mondays.
Oh,
The song,
I don't want
about that. Yeah. So we're talking about 50 years of this stuff. Over 50.
Well, I remember on Sandy Hook, the day of Sandy Hook, and I was teaching at an elementary school and sitting on the curb and crying the day that Sandy Hook happened. And the next day, the NRA, the pro-gun lobby, was louder than anyone else.
Right.
And when we didn't respond to that, I realized if that doesn't affect people,
dead
done.
Kids, if that doesn't affect them. Yeah, exactly.
Right. And who knows, but let me just sort of poll the room. Do you think something can be done about it, or do you feel like it's just hopeless?
I think that America is built on certain tenets, which is I have the right to do whatever I want.
Me first.
Yeah.
That's the slogan of America.
And that's capitalism, that's public safety, and I think that system is so ingrained that on a national level it can't be fixed.
No. What about you?
I don't know. I believe that the Second Amendment is valid. Okay,
I agree with you on that one.
I'll start with that.
Yeah.
And then, but there needs to be some restraints put on it. But of course, the gun lobby thinks that if you put restraints on it, that's just a slippery slope to taking all of our guns.
Yeah.
I've placed a bet with people over the air, and nobody's taken my bet over the years. When Obama was president, the right would say, "Oh, he's going to take our guns," and I'd say, "I'll bet you $1,000 right now he won't take your guns." Nobody took the bet.
Right.
Nobody took the bet.
It's true. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just rhetoric. They say, "Oh, they're going to take my guns," but if you pin them down, they don't believe that either.
How about 1,000?
California was an open carry state when Reagan was governor, and then the Black Panthers started to open carry, and all of a sudden it didn't seem like a good idea anymore. So it seems to be about who has the guns.
Right.
It took me a long time to understand what that meant, because I thought they meant open carry meant you could have a 6-pack in your car. that wasn't it at all. However, pivoting from that to stories about love.
Whoa, pivot.
And this is one that I saved it because it was on my news feed.
I know, I guess we should go gunshot wedding, a shotgun wedding.
Yeah, and this one, headline,
there.
NBCnews.com, headlines, whale stuns scientist by going to record-breaking lengths in search of a breeding ground. Talk about travel for love.
Tell me about it, Whale.
Yeah.
Isn't that something? He's 8,000 miles. 8,000. Now think of that. 8,000 miles in the deep, dark ocean. He swam to find the love of his life. And I don't know whether he found it, but he wanted to find a mating ground. Wonder why the mating grounds closer to home didn't work. Who knows? But that's a story to me.
Maybe they know him there.
Yeah, exactly.
They assert that changing climatic and ocean conditions could be driving these migrations to new breeding grounds. But they say this new research is an incredible finding that emphasizes the remarkable distances that the whale species travels, right? And most migration routes are known to exceed 5,000 miles. Yeah, and wow. I mean, could you imagine if you had to travel that long to find love? Would you? Especially if you didn't know of the outcome, because the whale has no idea if it's going to find breeding ground, right? but he's following his nose. How do they figure it out? But to me, that's a great. I love stories when animals leave home and then they suddenly travel 600-700 miles and they're back home.
Right.
Yeah. Would you do that for love? What would you do for love? Right.
Not at my age. Maybe when I was.
Yeah. That'd be a long time to travel.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same. I don't know. Is there a couch at the end?
Yeah.
It depends.
And here's the other question, because as I'm reading, I'm going, somebody studied this. Did they track them? Did they follow them? What did they do to find out where they went?
Well, I think they tag whales. They put little devices on them that can follow where they head.
And this whale...
Now, they don't know why they're heading that way, I wouldn't think, but maybe they do. I don't know.
Well, I would think they know more because it's instinctive.
Yeah, right.
They just follow what we'd call it something else.
Yeah, it depends on what you consider no. They know I got to go over there. I don't know why, but I got to get over there.
I do have to get over there. But for love, and this is the time of year when you're thinking...
mating.
Well... If it's mating for you, then Merry Christmas. Normally, it's about relationship.
Whales?
Some people are sad at Christmas, which they enjoy, because it's that kind of time where you can feel your feels.
Yeah,
right?
Some people revel in
They do.
in it.
I noticed that.
And that's kind of depressing that someone would just revel in the...
It's called Hallmark television. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
It's all, oh my God. But some people have a joyous feeling about Christmas time. We're going to get into about which one should you pursue? And it seems obvious, but we'll get into some science about that coming up on the show. But first, by way of introducing our special guest today, we have got some of their music right now. And I think it's be good to play a song and then introduce our guest here. And I'll give you the title of the song, and then we'll tell you who it's going to be. Right. This is called The New Now, right here on Mornings on the Beach.
Ooh, yeah. Times are changing, but life keeps on going, and we must keep living. In times like these, when life can bring you to your knees, you question your reality. What does it mean for you? What does it mean for me? Don't turn your back, no. Sisters and brothers, fathers and mothers, daughters and sons, our new lives have just begun. Please hear my call. There's so many who have fought before, so many who still fighting right now. What could we do for them? We could do a little more for them. Don't turn your back, no. Sisters and brothers, fathers and mothers, daughters and sons, our new life has just begun. Everybody's living in a new now. We'll make it through some way, somehow. Name of the game is to make it through. You gotta love me and I gotta love you. Everybody's living in a new now. We'll make it through this storm somehow. Ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of change. The love for the music keeps the whole world sane. What can we do today to make the world a better place? How can we show the world a little more love and a little more grace? Everybody's living in a new now. We'll make it through some way, somehow. Ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of change. Love for the music, keep the whole world sane. Everybody's living in a new now. We'll make it through this storm somehow. Game of the game is to make it through. You gotta love me and I gotta love you.
It's Mornings on the Beach with our very special guest. But first, I'm Danny Lemos.
I'm Mike Stark.
I'm Melanie Rae. Our special guest is... Chad Bishop.
Yeah, the singer of that song. Yeah. The throngs are waiting for you here. Hi, welcome to the show, Chad.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Great.
Mel, Mike, Danny, thank you
you're
so
welcome.
much for having me. I'm honored to be here.
Thank you. I think right now, if we didn't have your songs on the air, we wouldn't have any music.
Chad's been part
Featured.
of the DNA of this station for quite a while. People don't know about that. He played at our thing down at the beach.
Right, Long Beach Live.
Yeah.
But you're part of Long Beach, because everywhere I turn, when I mention your name, they know you everywhere.
Right.
He's here, he's there, he's performing, he's helping out, whatever. And how long have you been a Long Beach native?
I have lived in Long Beach since the year 2000.
That's good enough.
Here.
20 years is fine.
Yeah, so I guess I'm official now.
Yeah.
Didn't really get into performing until about 2015.
Really?
Yeah, I came out here as a director of an after-school program.
No kidding.
With the Compton School District, and did that for a while. Then I went into the hotel industry, and then had a couple of life changes around 2011, 2012, and then I started kind of leaning into the creative side.
Was it something you were doing at home, like you were making songs up, or something that just sort of evolved, or did you have one of these epiphanies where you fell off your horse?
There was shoot, if I fell off that horse, I wouldn't have gotten back up. Let me tell you, it was. I looked up on singing. I never ever planned to be a singer. I was not even a kid that was in choir. I couldn't even make the choir in the 6th grade. I got kicked out because I couldn't hear the tones. So I ended up going to the band side and playing the trombone, which I play to this day. But the way I got to singing is I used to, when I was a kid, I was bad, right? I would sneak into my dad's comedy collection and listen to his Eddie Murphy tapes.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So I would imitate. Eddie Murphy had this skit called Singers, where he imitated Elvis, Stevie Wonder, Teddy Pendergrass, Michael Jackson, and somebody else. And I would just do that over and over and over and make my friends laugh. And one day, a friend of mine, he was pretty direct about this. He kind of punched me in my chest. He was like, "Yo, dude, if you got all them voices that you can imitate, you got a real voice in there. You need to do something."
Wow. That's so true.
And he kind of challenged me, and I was like, I didn't know what to do, but okay. Somebody thinks that I can sing.
Well, one of the most outstanding things about hearing your singing is your voice. So nobody ever said, "Boy, you can sing," or...
No, not when I was a kid.
Wow.
I had a bad ear. I couldn't really hear until I started playing trombone. Yeah, I remember trying out for chorus, and the choral directors playing the scale, like trying to see where our tones were, and I could not match the tone. He was like, "Hey, bro, maybe you need to go."
So was there any music in your household as you grew up?
Yeah, heavily influenced by Motown. You would have thought.
Oh yeah.
You would have thought my dad worked at Motown. So since I was a kid, I've been hearing soul music, Motown, Stax. My mom was a big Stevie Wonder fan. My grandparents listened to B.B. King, the blues, and then we sang gospel music in church. But like I said, I wasn't that good. I was just in the choir just to go up, just to be there. So yeah, I was heavily in. There was music all around, but nobody in my family pursued music. But
they loved it.
Yeah, and there are some musical people. There are the singers in my family. Just I was the only one to actually pursue it.
How do you go from that to putting your music online? Did you just say, "I'm just jumping in," or what was your thought process there?
I have to credit Long Beach City College.
Whoa!
Yeah,
we like that.
Yeah, for a couple of reasons. My first radio experiences were at Long Beach City College, where I took the music business program with Dr. George Shaw.
Oh, wow.
And he taught us past, present, and future. I remember the day he said, CDs are going to go out of style because people are starting to download music for free. So the future is having your music on.
Wow. Yeah. No.
So once I got some quality recordings and a project that seemed to fit, where the songs seemed to fit a certain vibe, that's what I did.
That's wild. So do you find people that you work with, like you've attracted folks and musicians, or do you work on your own? What's your work ethic?
I like to collaborate. I feel like I love to collaborate because growing up in a band, you were always playing with like 100, 150 other people. So I'm not necessarily the artist who goes and hides in my room and just make music to heal myself. Maybe I should start doing that. Now, with these times, I think I'm going to start doing that.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't much rather collaborate. Yeah.
Are you right now surprised about how far you've come? People know you around town. You're performing a lot.
Surprised? I can't say that. I'm going to tell you why. When I started doing this, my mother told me, if you're going to leave work, you need to make it real. Don't sit on the couch and do nothing and just call yourself a musician. So I actually made a 20-year plan.
No kidding.
Wow.
Yeah, this is year 6. So I'm not surprised.
Wow. And I'll tell you what, if you're listening right now and you're a young musician, that's really about what you need to do. You have to have a plan.
Absolutely.
And you're following it and it's working out. And you know the examples of it are the music that's online, some of which we're playing today from your new album.
Yes, 5-song EP. It's called Soul Butter.
Really? And it's available online. You can find it. We found it on
Bandcamp.
There we go. I'll tell you what, let's play another song. Of all the 5 that are there, which one shall I play next?
Oh, play Take. Right. This one was co-written by Nicole Santiago, who's out there in Long Beach somewhere.
Hey, Nicole.
Here's your song, Nicole.
Here's your song on Mornings on the Beach.
I sing this song for the brokenhearted. I could tell you some lies just to keep you satisfied. I put my heart on the line. Tell me, why did I try? You said that we would do better. I gave it all that I got. In return, you gave little when you should have been giving a lot. But you take pieces of me until my heart's not where it's supposed to be. Take me up, take me down, then you twist me around until you take all of me, all of me. My heart on the line. I did it too many times. 2 empty bottles of cheap wine, girl. You know I cried, yes I cried. You said that we would do better. We talked about it before. Now we're back where we started when we could have had so much more. But you take pieces of me until my heart's not where it's supposed to be. Take me up, take me down, then you twist me around until you take all of me, all of me. Said you take pieces of me until my heart's
Chadwick Bishop right there with all of... Sorry. Take. I had to look there at the fine print, and also noticed you can buy it right there online if you want to.
Yes, you can buy it.
I was
going
to ask you how you make your money. You can look him up at chadwickjbishop.bandcamp.com. And this is Mornings on the Beach. We're going to take a quick little station break here. When we get back, science has a way for you to be happier this Christmas, and you won't believe how easy it is. Stay right there.
At 99.1 FM in downtown Long Beach and streaming at klbp.org. This is KLBP, Long Beach Public Radio.
Who are these people? They are awful and horrifying, and I love them.
Well, let's tell them. I'm Danny Lemos.
I'm Mike Stark.
I'm Melanie Rae.
And in studio with us,
Chadwick Bishop.
That's awesome right now. We're talking to Chadwick about your music, right? And this just came out, Soul Butter.
Yes.
When did you create this? Was it over the summer, or how long does it take to make tracks like that?
This is kind of a combination of songs that I've done over the past 3 or 4 years. Some of them are newer than others. Some I did. I'd say the oldest one is Take. It's probably about 3 years old.
That's what we just heard before the break. Are you appearing anywhere that we might let people know about? Is that going to happen soon?
That is going to happen very soon. Let's see, tomorrow night.
Oh, no kidding.
Friday night.
Which will be the day after, just the
Day before.
the day before we air this. So never mind.
Yes, I'm
How about
performing.
Saturday or Sunday on?
How was it?
Yes, I was in a...
Oh my God! Yeah. And if it's the holidays, are you getting out and anybody having a party or?
Yes, I'm performing at Let's Yoke About It.
Oh, no kidding! I love that
on
place.
2nd Street.
Yeah, love it.
Stay tuned for details.
They're good friends of the radio station over there. Yeah, so that's great. I'm glad to hear that.
Good people, good food, good vibe. Yeah,
that's great.
for sure.
So you said you're on your plan, right? In your 6th year of the plan.
Yes.
So that you started at the same time the radio station did, because we're 6 years old this week. So what's year 7 about?
Year 7 is about understanding music publishing and how to get all
there
these
you go.
songs, or at least one of them,
Wow.
out there on a major scale or attached to
Wild.
movies and TV. Just understanding publishing and how that works.
So how do you do that? Do you start talking to people? Do you start researching online? How do you get in the know about how to publish your own music?
Well, one thing that
Google
I would
it?
suggest, yeah. If you Google it, man, you're gonna get like 1,000 people. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
really.
Like, especially in LA, everybody thinks they know something. Everybody says they know something anyway. My suggestion would be joining a performance rights organization like ASCAP or BMI, CSAC, because they hold conferences and expos where you can actually meet people in the field or meet people who are a little farther along in the direction that you want to go. So that's what I would suggest. Like, try to find where the pros are.
Wow.
And if locally, one thing I've been wanting to do is write theme songs for local businesses.
Hello, we need a theme song for the radio show.
LBP 99.1.
Oh, I'd love it. Are you kidding? A musical jingle? You're on, dude.
All right.
And we can pay you too. Let's see how much money you got. A couple of dollars.
Last $2?
Yeah, because I always thought that'd be great. We had one done at the old radio station I worked at Cal State by the music department there, because they had a choral group. That was kind of fun. They did their own thing, and it was our jingle for many, many years.
Yeah.
But a lot of fun over there. That's good. So that's about becoming. We're on this side of playing the music, so there's a lot about the industry I don't really know about. Like, how do you make money? Do you make a lot of money?
Yeah, that was going to be my question. You got this 20-year plan. When does money start coming into the picture?
Yeah, really.
It came day one.
Oh, yay!
5 years ago.
Yay! All right.
Yeah, it came. Actually, money came in 2015, but I was still working. It wasn't enough to not work anymore.
Right.
That came in 2019, just before COVID.
Yeah, really? Yeah, right. Of course.
And then it all crashed down.
Yeah.
That's wild.
So it's that was part of the plan,
Right.
Like to start
COVID wasn't part of the plan.
No, COVID wasn't part of the plan. But let me tell you what COVID did do.
Sure.
It allowed me to go online and start doing live concerts.
Right.
And it became a thing. I just did it one day just because it was a function on Facebook.
Sure.
And then it became a way to stay engaged with people. And actually started building some kind of a following of people who would do like a weekly show, a Wednesday night or something like that. And then a little later on in that year, Mimi Masher and I started like a Tuesday morning podcast called The Morning Mashup. And
that's wild.
Just kind of kept it going.
It kept us alive. Mike and I, we did a show every day at 5 o'clock. And it aired it the next morning. Yeah, because I mean, otherwise, I don't know what I would have done.
It was our therapy.
Yeah,
it really was our online therapy, and we got to get some clips from that period of time. The very first show we went on from home was kind of fun because it was a mess.
But the thing is I think you, in talking to other musicians, I think you're on the right path for the big bucks with the music publishing thing, because that's where musicians seem to make their big bucks when it comes down to it, because then you write music and it ends up in TV shows and commercials and all of that, and then you can be more creative doing your other stuff, because then when the money's coming in, you're a little more comfortable.
Yeah, you don't have to play 368 days a year.
And you're smarter than us. We got into an industry that pays nothing.
So we're doing, and it's getting worse.
You guys are making a big impact on the community.
Thank you. That's all. That's all we get. And it's enough, really, when you think about the people you touch. I look back in my career, and I think the most important. I was involved in a lot of important things, but the most important thing for me was how I affected students I taught and worked with, especially when they show up on Facebook and now they're the news director of a station in Colorado, and like, I had something to do with that. Yeah. That's the satisfaction. Or you see somebody who can do this for the first time. I'm pointing at the radio station here. Could get in here and do it, right? That's so satisfying for me, especially when they're good. Wow, it's like a new talent. Yeah. I'm looking for that person that we're going to train, who's going to go on and be the next big radio star. That would be awesome. Does they have a part of it? And then they can donate generously to the station. It's important. But it's a holiday time, and here we are surrounding you around the holiday time as you get ready for your family or whoever you spend your holiday with. I wanted to ask the question, what do you want for Christmas? And it's one of those questions I ask it because do you know, if somebody was to ask you that, what you'd say? Right?
My wife asks me that all the time.
Yeah, of course.
And honestly, I am so happy with the way things are and my family and all of that. I really am happy with the way things are, and getting more stuff is just not in my DNA anymore, because I've got a garage full of stuff that I need to get rid of as it is, and more stuff just makes life more complicated.
I like hearing that, because what's in your garage? Let's go through it. I'm king of the junk. Yeah. Melanie, what do you want for Christmas?
I'm fortunate. My needs are met, so I agree. I don't.
Y'all are no fun. Come on.
Sorry. I guess. Yeah. I don't know. Couldn't even come up with something to be funny right then.
How about a Lamborghini?
Nah, I'm not a car person either, Dad.
Yeah, I don't have a car now, and I find it very freeing.
Yeah, right.
Really?
So fancy. I did the commute life for 25 years, and now I have an e-bike and less stress. So I don't even want a car. Yeah. I just want
less traffic.
I don't even care anymore. I'm not in it.
Well, so they won't kill you when you're on the road. That's what I would
Right,
think.
There you go.
Right. All I want to do is not be hit when I'm turning left on Broadway.
Good luck.
There's that.
Well, how about you, Danny?
What do I want for Christmas?
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking whatever it is, it's going to be something for the radio station, because we have a lot of things we need right now.
I'd be up for that.
And if you go to our Facebook page, you'll see what I'm talking about. We put up a wish list of Santa, in case Santa's paying attention, what you want. And I think for home, for me settling in, I'd like to have a food processor. See, I'm very materialistic, and I would like, but it has to be a small one because I have a very small. But I've gotten into cooking, and so I'm really enjoying making different sauces and spreads, and getting into Mediterranean cooking this past year. So that's who I am, and I'd say you can give me that if you like. or you can buy something for the radio station, and it's online. We'll give you that. And music. We need lots of music. So your favorite tunes, if you let us know. You can reach us, by the way, anytime you want to at info@klbp.org. And if you're thinking about your taxes, I know it's early to think about that, but at the end of the year, if you want a little bit of a tax break, giving it to us, you get that tax break. So if you need it, generously donate. $100 to you might be nothing, but it certainly would be something for us if you gave us that.
Absolutely.
Every dollar counts. And I'm so happy to see and thank the people on the air who are donating. The donations are coming in as people feel us, I guess, the radio station, the new sound, all the people that are associated with it that are just hard at work here, and they're all doing it for free. So your contributions really make a difference for us. They go all to equipment that we can buy, training folks, educating them, and that's what we do. End of commercial. Chad, we didn't ask you.
Hey.
What would you like for Christmas?
Good question.
See? If you're out there too, that's a question to ask yourself.
Yeah, I have to think about what I really want. I caught Santa Claus in the act when I was a kid, so.
In the act of what?
I mean, here we go.
Yeah, I saw Mama kissing Santa Claus.
Oh, dear.
What do I want for Christmas?
Yeah.
This year I'm going to be
selfish.
by myself. I'm going to ask Santa for a day of football without any distraction.
Oh, heck, that sounds
That's all I
wonderful.
want. That's all.
Yeah, and food.
Oh, yes.
You got to put food in there. Yeah, because that to me, that's a great wish. A day without distraction, right? I always think I'm retired now. It's a joke. I work so much harder. And I'm thinking, if I just take one day and have it be for me. I tried that yesterday. It didn't work because eventually somebody says they need this or that or the other thing, and I'm finding myself going to the computer, and because I like what I do, I'll sit there. The next thing I know, 2 hours have gone by. And so what I would like is a distraction-free day, and it probably is getting away from the house and getting away from the digital devices so that nobody can find me, and then go on a day trip or something. That would be nice, really, if you want to go to Christmas. And nobody said peace on earth because. However.
Is that an unreachable thing at this point?
It feels like it, but then again, it's people. This is a great reminder.
True.
Wars are made by people. So people against people. So if people stopped, right, and it takes guts to go against the current. So, when all this, I don't understand a single reason why we're still fighting in the Middle East because I'm not from there. But still, for heaven's sakes, it doesn't seem like a long fight. It's been thousands of years, and yet it's somehow needs to stop killing people. That's what I'm wishing for. Stop killing people in with bombs and stuff like that. This Christmas would be great.
And we don't even get along in this country. That's the other problem.
We don't get along in this room.
Yeah.
However, we do coexist.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
And that's what we hope for everybody. Even I'm so used to somebody saying something nasty at me when I'm out on the street, right? Get out of my way or whatever. Yesterday, this guy pulled into the sidewalk, the crosswalk, and I was coming into it. And then he backed up very slowly and said, "Happy holidays." It shocked me. It was so nice. I'm thinking, wait a minute. Now, why should I be shocked that somebody's nice to me in downtown Long Beach? Yeah. But it's just one of those things. You're used to the other. So if you can be that person and spread it, his happy holidays did more for my day yesterday than anything else. Yeah. 2 words. If you could say that to somebody today, do it, because it's going to make them feel really good.
Of course, you went a block away and some guy goes, "I'm walking here."
It is Mornings on the Beach, and what we want to talk about here is about the science of making you happier. What does that mean? Well, there's an article that came out this week about you can be happier if you decide to share good news. Sounds simple, right? But it's really not if you think about it. How many people in your life will call you up with a piece of good news?
It happens.
Does it really?
Yeah,
God bless you.
Not very often.
It doesn't happen to me very often. And I realized, I started thinking, wait a minute, the last 15 phone calls, it's always been drama. People love to spread drama. But nobody calls and says, you know what happened to me today? I got a job or whatever. No one calls you with that kind of stuff. And yet, the science about that is about sharing and filling your thoughts with good news instead of bad news.
Wow.
Starts with, where do you select your news? And I'm getting really selective these days because there's not a whole lot of good news out there. But at the same time, sharing that with somebody else. And for me, that means the dog park in the morning. So I look up a story and share it with my friends at the dog park. And then I pay attention to what they share back. And it's not always positive. When they realize we're sharing, they'll jump in with a story of, isn't this awful what their Trump is? And once I hear that word, I'm out. Because I'm tired of that. There's enough of that. But that's what we like to share. And that's what we click on.
Yeah.
So starting by clicking elsewhere might be, like for me, I only allow myself now 10 minutes on the iPad because it's always going to try to sell me something. News selling you something that's new. And then it's always going to try to give you bad news because that's what is so exciting. Drama. The 10 reasons why your phone could be poisoning you.
Right.
I don't care. Really. And it's
why
true.
you're wrong about everything.
Yeah. And then how many hackers are there trying to get your information? Yeah. It's all of that. So by sharing some good news, what happened today was really good. I remember the story about recovering my iPhone. It was a drama, but I got it back. Somebody returned my iPhone. Yeah. It might have been the message I put in there that said, be a good human being and karma is a real BITCH. So it got returned. But starting with that, sharing that story, you made so many people happy. My God.
But you tell it in a happy way. The story could be, what a pain. I lost my phone and all these things went wrong. The same story could be twisted, but you're not that guy.
And that's a great point because who you surround yourself is who you become. So how many people in your life share bad news, especially when it's not to them, it's not happening to them? They love to share somebody else's bad news. I'll have friends call me up and share stuff like, oh, do you know what happened to this person? I'm like, my first thought is, I don't really care. But then again, you're listening because you're friendly. But I'm like, why would you call me and share that? That's so bad news. And it made me feel terrible. I've done
a lot of trimming in the last few years of my friendships. And I do have friends that call me with good news. And the people who call me with the negative gossip or it's usually the same story over and over again. I don't hang out with them because it gets on you.
Right.
And
because I'm sharing how good news can affect you, obviously the inverse, bad news can really affect you as well. If you're surrounding yourself with negative thoughts, especially if you're not aware that you pick up on negative thoughts, where do you drift when you're in a group of folks? Towards people having a good time, or do you share the people that are, you have all those people that introduce yourself in your life by what's wrong in their life.
Oh, right? Yeah.
And that's like, wow, you're going to share that first? That's what I know about you?
You're going to open with that?
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and I have a story that I have, a friend brought me to lunch with another of her girlfriends. And the lunch meeting, she said to me, I want you to count how many seconds before you find out that she's a rape victim. And I thought, what?
Oh,
she goes,
dear.
And that's what I thought. Oh, dear.
You're going to open.
Sure enough, in the second sentence, she went, well, at my rape survivors class, introducing to the group that she was a rape survivor, which is the first thing she wanted us to know about, which I found kind of weird.
Well, then it's hard to kind of take the
where do you
moment
go?
back after
where do you go after that?
Yeah,
I'm not. Oh. But, it's just one of those things that people sometimes identify with the major tragedy in their life.
Right.
Are you doing that? Good thing to ask yourself. Do I identify with the things I share with my friends? Am I identifying with the bad side of my life? Or I'm sharing the good stuff? Lately it's just been, for me, I'm divesting, right? Because I want things to slow down a bit.
Right.
Yeah, and as you get older, you could care less.
I've taken all the social networks off my phone, so I can still go to my computer if I want to. But I took them off my phone because they're just there all the time.
Maybe that's what I got to do.
Right. So that helped, and that's what I replaced. Now I go to the dog park every morning too, which is a wonderful way to start the day.
Isn't it the best?
Dogs.
I'm guaranteed.
It's the best therapy.
Yeah. And as you can hear in the background, downtown Long Beach, the sirens that are
welcome to Long Beach.
We're in a soundproof room, but they come through anyway.
I always feel sorry for people who are driving when they hear it because now they're whipping around like, where's that cop?
It's actually against the law. Did you know that? You can't play like sirens on the air that are, unless like in a commercial, you're not supposed to play sirens.
Oh, yeah.
Because people will freak out.
There are a couple songs though where there's a tone that every time I hear it, you know.
But talking about sharing good news, I thought that was, as we get ready to conclude the show today, we'd share some good news. Like one thing, our life expectancy went up. Did you know that? Oh. From 77.6 years during the COVID years, we've gone up to 78.4. So that gives me another 11 years in. I can hang in here. That's good news to me, because basically all we're always saying is that with all this stuff that's happening to us, our life expectancy is getting shorter and shorter. And it was, but this past year it went up. So good news. Share that with your friends, especially if they're around 78. Careful. And then this one I love. 3 pieces of good news on climate change in 2020.
Oh, that'd be nice to hear.
3 pieces, right? One is that we are finally, as a world now, kicking coal to the curb. And this is about the news in the UK, that they met their goal. On September 30th of this year is the last coal plant in the nation shut down.
Wow.
That's in the United Kingdom, England. So isn't that something?
Yeah, it is.
It'd say that in 2023, U.S. coal makes up around 50% of the electricity supply 4 decades ago. And in 2023, the share was roughly about 16%. So we're making a little progress shutting down
that's
coal.
nice to hear.
Of course, after the new administration, we're going to go completely backwards. But
Thanks, he invented coal.
oh my God, you've enough already with the coal. Yeah, I'm telling you. But my new moniker for the new administration, did you hear?
What?
It's going to be on Inauguration Day. Trump will actually do number 2 all over the nation. Trump number 2, get it? Yeah. And batteries. Batteries are getting cheaper. So for those of you who thought it was going to get more expensive to own an electric car or to have solar panels in your house, batteries are now cheaper than ever, dropping 20% this year alone.
Wow.
Yeah, to $115 per kilowatt hour. I don't know what that means, but it sounds good.
Yes. Apparently, it's an improvement.
Yeah, apparently. And EVs apparently are going to be more prolific. We're going to see nothing but these electric vehicles. I'm sorry, but I'm seeing these vehicles that all look exactly the same from all these different manufacturers. It's the same thing. It's like the Hyundai little minivan sports model.
They
looks
have
like
that
the same
sound,
one.
the different
Yeah.
sound, like the.
I hate that. It really bothers me. It does. I don't know why. When I hear it, I get a little creepy. It's like science fiction or something.
It is.
Couldn't they put a different sound in there that we like coins dropping? Or
Well, I had a hybrid, and in my alley there were people who couldn't hear me behind them, and I always had this. I didn't want to honk and scare them, and I'd roll my window down. Excuse me. So they move over, and I could drive past.
That little hovery sound.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's one of those sounds that'll just make me a little anxious. But the sound of dogs eating, believe it, that's AMSR for me. That makes me calm down. I love that. Now, humans, not so.
Right.
But the dogs, I love it. Or the cows chewing. And to me, that's kind of cool.
So you need a car that makes the sound of a cow chewing.
Cow chewing. Popcorn.
Yeah.
Would be
Popcorn.
Great. There's a video. You got to find it. It's a guy serves a wheelbarrow of popcorn to goats. I watched that sucker. It was 29 minutes long. I couldn't tune away from it. It was like watching these goats eat popcorn. And it was so cute. Then the ducks get involved. It's really cute.
I'm into goats fainting. Do you ever watch those?
No.
They freeze up and they like a
Do they do
statue.
that?
They fall over. Yeah,
Why?
it's in their nervous system because when they're stressed, they shut down and they tense up and just fall over.
Oh, I gotta do that.
So if you YouTube fainting goats, it's just and then they just go dunk and then they get up and walk away.
Something for your Saturday afternoon. Go for it.
That's what I want for Christmas.
Fainting goat.
I want a fainting goat.
Oh my God!
I love it.
My 2 co-hosts are
I love it. And
fainting goats and eating animals eating.
I'm telling you,
your things.
this show just covers every gamut.
Yikes.
From A to B. However, it's
We
almost time for
started
us.
with guns.
Yeah,
right?
we sure
Here
did.
we are.
It's almost time for us to get out of here. So, one last one. Favorite or most memorable holiday memory? Do you guys have one? For me, they usually come from childhood. What about you?
Yeah. I have one from childhood where I was older. I had 2 brothers. I was a little older, and I already knew about Santa not existing. Sorry for those that.
Come on, Mike.
If we just ruined Christmas for you. Hopefully the kids aren't listening.
We were about good news.
So it was Christmas Eve, and we're all gathered in the living room, and there was a knock at the back door. And I said, just out of the blue, "Oh, it must be Santa."
Okay.
We went to the back door, and damn if it wasn't Santa.
Are you serious? Oh, what a great memory.
It was the neighbor dressed up as Santa.
That's a great memory.
Yeah.
Oh, mine was of dressing as, my uncle had dressed as Santa. We were having a big raucous house party at the end of our cul-de-sac, right? And there's this guy coming around in kind of like a lowrider cruiser. And for some reason, my uncle, dressed as Santa, is on the front steps talking to them. And he walks down to the curb. When he gets to the window, don't know what he said or what was said, but they started driving away, and he's hanging onto the car door, and they drag Santa down the street.
Oh, no.
Yikes.
And everybody in that yard is like freaking out on Christmas. That's a memory I remember. Kind of a joyful memory.
Nice.
It was so dramatic. But when you're a little kid, that's like, yeah, that's awesome. And we thought he was a hero. We didn't realize he was probably in trouble. Who knows what had happened? But we thought, Santa's, look at him. He's riding along the car. He's like Superman. It was pretty awesome. What about you, Melanie?
You'll have to. I'm not Catholic, so I don't know the right vocabulary.
Okay.
On Christmas Eve, I was in Rome at Popeville. Where's the Pope?
The Vatican.
The Vatican.
Popeville.
Same
I'm
thing.
sorry.
Popeville. I like that.
I was at the Vatican on Christmas Eve. And although I'm not Catholic, we were in the Vatican, and there was a big Pope screen, and you could watch the whole deal, and it was pretty powerful. It was an incredible evening, right?
Yeah.
And we were standing with 1,000. It was a very solemn and beautiful. We watched the whole thing, and it was pretty incredible.
Bucket list for me. I just put that on my bucket list. That's something I'd like to do.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What about you, Chad?
Favorite Christmas? What was the question again?
Most memorable. Doesn't have to be happy.
Okay.
It could be
Most
sad.
memorable. This is bad news too.
Oops.
Number one, I told you I caught Santa in the act. That was one memorable. I had to go to the bathroom at like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, no.
And all of a sudden I hear somebody go, wait a minute, wait. I hear all these sounds on the steps. Wait a minute, go back in there.
That's awesome.
But the bad news is one year I wanted some cowboy boots. I don't know what. My dad liked westerns, so I think I wanted to be a cowboy that year. And I woke up, I went in the living room. I mean, I was spoiled. There's all kind of presents under the tree. I ripped everything open and no cowboy boots.
Oh, no.
And I cried on
I know that feeling.
all this other stuff. Viewmaster, bicycle.
Isn't that something? And I tell you what, if you're a parent out there, listen to what your kids say. That's what they
I'm sure
want.
your parents love that.
Yeah, that's what they want.
I kept saying, where are the boots?
Oh, that's awesome. Well, on that, we got to say goodbye.